Welcome to King of the Crew tonight, guys. We're going to be talking about toys we played with when we were kids. So,
The toys that made us.
pretty much.
Aw,
I think of the toys that
cute.
I played with, and it was pretty much one in particular, and I know that Griff did play with it a lot. Case kind of went to the enemy's side on my favorite toy. But, well, let's kick this off with the older boys, because I have no idea what you guys played with. Go ahead, Dane.
You gotta start out with Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys. And,
Yep. Thumbs up to
and
that.
then you can progress to the Constructs and Legos.
Whoa.
Constructs.
We got an hour to
Constructs.
do on this thing, and you just named all of them in one whack.
Well, I'm talking about the progression because it's. What do you think, Lonnon? Tinker Toys first? It's probably Lincoln Logs first.
Lincoln Logs
And then
first.
I think we graduated to
Tinker
Tinker Toys, and then to Constructs, and then to Legos.
You
I never
forgot
got
about
into
Capsella.
Connects.
I don't think you ever got into Capsellas either, though.
I didn't get it. Oh, was that the battery-powered ones that were in the clear
Yeah.
thing?
Awesome.
Yeah, but I didn't really get into those
They were
too
so
much.
cool. I love those.
Yeah,
things.
that was me. Capsellas all the way.
They're unbelievably expensive.
Now, because they don't make them anymore.
Oh, yeah, they're crazy.
Yep.
But Dane, what was your favorite toy? Like, when you think back on your childhood, what did you play with the most?
It depends on the time frame. I mean, are we talking like building toys? Are we talking like action figures? Or are we talking? What are we talking? Just anything?
Your favorite toy. Like, what was your Woody? Not. Wow, sorry.
Whoa!
That was terrible.
Edit. Radio edit. It depends on the time frame. So obviously, and I think I've got three. And I think the first was Voltron with the tigers, and then Elijah had him. He got him when he got run over. I don't know if you guys remember that.
All
Lonnie.
right. Yeah.
Like
well,
the
I remember
metal
it actually
tigers.
happening. Yeah. No, I don't remember those. I just remember Elijah getting
Yeah.
run over.
It was $100, and that was in like 84, 85.
Ouch.
Yeah, and he got it when he got run over. But we had this was in Porterville, and we had this big old pile of sand. And it's kind of like a wet sand, but we dig tunnels and play with the toys in that, and then all five tigers come together to form Voltron. And I mean, this Voltron was like 2 feet tall. And
Yep, I don't remember that.
it was just awesome. But then moved to Reno, and Reno was He-Man, and we used
Can
to
we
play.
backtrack 1 second? What is this
Sure.
Voltron thing? Like, I have
Oh
no
my
idea.
gosh, you need to watch it.
Baron, go
on
watch the
Netflix.
Netflix show.
Yeah, it's super good.
It's
the
actually pretty
Netflix one.
decent.
Ainsley loves it.
Okay. So,
But you have to
So-
be into anime kind of thing.
No, you don't. It's totally American.
It's just
The
an old
Netflix
cartoon.
one. The 80s one was all anime, and it's terrible. Just like the He-Man cartoons are terrible. You can't watch them anymore because they're like, oh my gosh, this is just stupid. I can't sit here and watch this.
Yeah, they're definitely not
But-
as good as Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb is dumb.
Phineas and Ferb was
that is like
great.
I
the
disagree.
greatest
Are you
Disney
joking?
show ever created.
I watch
Avatar
Phineas and Ferb
is
on
good.
my own. Avatar is very good. It's not
Avatar is
Disney.
That's like that's
No,
like
but
oh, I
Avatar's
know. I'm
great.
just saying animation. I mean, that's like Dad saying Fairly Odd Parents was like the best cartoon,
No, it's
No.
not. Fairly Odd
No,
Parents is
not
just
at
horrible.
all.
wasn't.
That was a stupid show.
or Ren and Stimpy, or Beavis and
Ren and
Butthead.
Stimpy was hilarious. Don't
But-
pee on
but-
the electric
So
fence.
rude.
Stupid. So stupid.
I hate the animation in Ren and Stimpy, and then it went to SpongeBob SquarePants, which I also never got into.
Yeah, but that's because we were too
Um,
old for that.
I never got into it.
Yeah,
I thought
Okay,
it was
okay,
just
okay.
great films
This is
every time.
supposed to be
Okay.
about toys,
Yeah,
not
toys.
about TV
Okay.
shows.
So okay,
But
let's
the
talk about
toys spawn TV shows, or vice versa.
Sometimes, definitely.
Dane, Reno. What did you play with in Reno?
He-Man and four-wheelers. Yeah, big time He-Man. I mean,
He-Man.
and then when She-Ra came out, we had all those characters. Like Lonnie, you remember Skunkor and Clawful, and I think it was Beastman was one of the guys.
Nope.
Skeletor, Man at Arms. So yeah, Cringer, Battle Cat,
No, I remember Sabercats, but yeah, I don't remember any of those.
or Thundercats. I think is what you're thinking.
Oh yeah, Thundercats. You're right. You're right.
Thundercats.
Yeah, but that's once again. I don't remember if we had many Thundercat toys.
We didn't, but I just remember the show.
Yeah, and then in Twin it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yep.
and me and Power and Lonnie, and you kind of did too. But it was like any extra money we got went into buying those action figures.
How old were
Not
you
so
at
much me.
Twin?
We moved there when I was in 4th grade.
No, I was in 4th grade.
Oh, right. I was end of 3rd grade for me.
Yeah, because I was in Mrs. Reese's class in Reno, and then went to Mrs. Alexander's class halfway through. Well, March 15th of 89.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Or 88. 88.
No, 88 is when Griffith was born, so that was not the case. We didn't move like 2 days after Griffith was born.
You're right. So 89. And then I had Miss Alexander for 5th grade at Sawtooth. Different teacher, but they were both Mrs. Alexander. So anyway, but yeah, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles there. And then that was the house on College Drive. And then, but kind of mixed in with all that is the Constructs, Legos. And I remember playing with Legos when I was a teenager. Like just hanging out in the basement with the little kids and playing Legos.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that, Lonnon?
Absolutely. We had a bucket the size of, well, it was a big bucket.
Several buckets, like a 5-gallon bucket.
No. But like, I thought this was like one of those 25-gallon totes. Didn't we have something like that?
25-gallon? You realize how big that is?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we had one because
no,
we had a lot of
no
Legos.
way.
Yeah.
Think of a 5-gallon tote filled to the brim with Legos.
Yeah, we had
That's
way
a
more than that.
ton of Legos.
It is, but we had way more than that.
Maybe. But yeah, so Constructs, they were in there, and
Okay,
like I said, I never really got into
What are
Connects.
these construct things? I don't like.
So you had little pieces of plastic, and they were kind of in the shape of a U, and then you had these blue cubes with little places that you could hook onto the U, and you just built. I mean, everything was asymmetrical. How it was built, there was no. Lonnon, they had rounded ones, didn't they? Yeah, they had like 45 or 90s.
So it's
around 90.
CONSTRUX Constructs.
Yeah,
made by
Constructs.
Fisher Price. Oh, it looks like there's still a website for them.
Oh yeah, and then when we got to Vegas, I remember the boys got from Santa Claus.
No, there's
Rockin'
totally
Box.
not. No.
That
Constructs
was
is
Shoshone.
something different.
Shoshone was Rockin' Box?
Yep.
Yeah, because you
Shoshone
guys
was-
killed the batteries on them before we could ever get to them.
I know, we played for them all night, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I'm surprised
'Cause,
that Mom and Dad let us stay
Santa
up after
Claus-
Santa Claus came.
Yeah, Santa Claus dropped it off, and we ended up just playing with it all night long.
Yep.
It
so
was
me
fun.
and Case got to wake up, and we got to play with. Oh wait, nothing because they were dead.
Sounds like your problem.
Not true.
I know we
Yeah,
do
Santa
that.
Claus
to
doesn't
play with
necessarily bring batteries.
Batteries not included.
But okay, so you kind of went through very quickly of what everything was. Didn't you guys have what are those stupid stamp steel, the steel like construction toys? Griff, you and I were working on
Erector
with
sets.
Erica. Yes, erector sets. Did you guys not have any erector sets?
It's
No.
a huge erection.
Yeah, radio edit.
Lonnon.
Anyway,
Have you guys
But
not
yeah,
seen
we
Kate
didn't-
Leopold?
we didn't have an erector set. Did we,
Yes,
Lonnon?
we did. But
Was-
no, it was only like one or two. It wasn't many. I mean, like, we did way more with Constructs because Constructs was, I mean, we could,
Easy. You don't
Yeah,
have
it
to
was
screw
easy.
everything in.
I mean, and if they still made that,
individually.
like, it would, I still think it would sell very well, personally. And what's funny
So,
is I'm
it was
looking at
like-
it now, Dane, and it's like, it's so little kid-ish, but yet so cool. Like, if there's a
Well, and
wiki
you
page
remember-
for it.
They had like panels and stuff that you could put in there to make it solid. So like you could make cars and vans and stuff like that. And they had wheels and tires and things like that.
Yeah, I just linked it so everybody can see.
That's cool. So, Lonnon, go ahead and talk about Capsellas a little bit.
So Capsellas were, everything was kind of a hexagon. Even the so they had motors in them a lot of the time. You had the battery packs and switches and
Gears, they had drive
gears and
shafts.
lights and drive shafts. And so you could make toys that crawled. You could make toys that drove. I made many of them that would run in the pool and just like paddle themselves along in the pool.
Okay. I totally remember those and playing with those a ton. I just looked them up.
The
With all the
Constructs
wires hanging off them. Yep.
or the
With
Capsellas.
the Capsellas. Yeah,
Right,
with
yeah.
the propellers on them and all the wires coming off, and to get it to go one way, you put the wires in one way and then
Yep.
reverse them to make it go backwards.
Yep.
So,
and the
When did you get those, Lonnon? I assume you got them for like Christmas or birthday or something, right?
yes, but when I do not know. I do not know.
Dude, I'll bet those were so expensive. I'm sure it was for
Oh.
Christmas.
Yeah, it was definitely for Christmas, but I don't know when I got them. And yeah, I would agree with Dane. They were probably ridiculously expensive.
Well, and to just say the quality of these things, these are toys that Griff and Lonnon and Case and Griff and I all played with when we were kids up until we were teenagers. So there's at least a 10-year age gap there.
Right. I'll bet I was, what, Dane, maybe 5 or 6? I definitely had them in Reno, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had them in Reno.
So if we had them in
I remember
Reno,
playing with them in the bathtub.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So if we had them in Reno, I was 5 or 6 maybe when I got them. And then by the time that you guys started playing with them, shoot, they were probably 11 or 12 years old. Maybe,
Dude,
maybe not that
I'm looking
much.
at the yellow buoy part, and I just remember making boats and things like that out of those.
Yeah.
And then putting the prop down in the water.
Yep, yeah. Like there was just a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of things.
crazy.
Like what's crazy is that they don't have something that's, in my opinion, that cool anymore. I mean, it doesn't make you think
Also-
upon that level.
That's the point. Video games have ruined that.
Which is sad.
And there's also insurance crap that probably got involved with it all too, because you were actually switching wires, and there's people that shorted batteries out and they blew up, and they've just destroyed that whole kind of take wires and make something work.
I don't remember ever shorting something out or making it so it didn't work
Nope.
or ever getting shocked.
I remember
I think they
making
ran
stuff
on
that didn't
C's and
work.
D's, didn't they?
No A's, most of them.
I think that you
Oh.
forget how stupid other people are.
I don't know.
What?
I mean, for the
People are
amount of
stupid?
stuff that we would have tried just about everything. And I don't know. I guess if you touched the positive to the negative and just left it there, then yeah, you could blow up a battery. But you could do that on any toy right now. Although none of them have that same type of deal. So I guess
Get a
what you're saying-
wire and put it on the negative side, and get the other side and put it on the positive side, and see how hot it gets.
Oh, I forgot it had
Don't really do
tracks
that.
and a winch. Do you remember that?
Yep, I remember the tracks. I don't remember the winch. I'm so glad you say
Yeah.
winch and not wench. Just for everybody out there, the thing on the front of a Jeep or an SUV is called a winch. A wench is your wife.
No, a wench is
Just
a beer
kidding.
wench.
A winch,
Hey,
wench is
wench, give me a beer. That's what
All
it
right,
said.
all right.
Derogatory term
Getting
towards a
distracted
female.
here.
Oh, that's right. They
Lonnon,
had a vacuum version as
What
well.
other
Anyway.
toys did you play with?
So for me, probably the one that I remember most, other than Capsellas, is. Do you guys remember those? It was one that I think Grandpa Cousteau gave to me, and maybe it was Dad and Mom. I don't remember. But it was one of those ones where they have the spring. They're like a cardboard, and they have all these electrical circuits on it. And then you have the spring that you lift up, and you put the wire in there, and it closes back on it, and you make your circuits, and you can do a bunch of different things.
Make
and,
a radio.
Yep. Or
remember
lights or LEDs or I remember
Dude, is that how
playing
you
with
figured
that
out wiring?
a
'Cause
ton.
I still don't have wiring figured out.
As a matter of fact, I was just thinking that while I was sitting here. I was like, you know what? That's probably what started my whole, enjoying wiring type deal. Maybe not, but probably.
I could see that.
Yeah,
because
like
I remember getting one for my birthday as well, and I used to play with that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lonnon can totally figure out wiring and make it all work. And I'm
Yes.
like, give me a schematic and I can wire it. Other than that, I can't troubleshoot it. Wiring is not my thing.
Yeah, I get it. Another one that was pretty big when we were. I know this is old school. Etch-a-Sketch. Come on, Etch-a-Sketch.
No, I don't remember playing with an Etch-a-Sketch. I know
I
what it
never
is. I
did.
never played with it.
I do.
We used
With
to
the
play with
knobs,
it all the freaking time.
That was our
Especially at
tablet for the
church.
car.
Or church.
Yeah, and the car.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
not
so
me.
much fun. Etch-a-Sketch, I remember playing with that a lot. But I think those are probably my biggest ones. Other than some, cheap RC cars, it's
Lon, do
not
you
a
remember
ton.
those toys Uncle Chris had that were air powered? You had the one that hopped. You had to pump it up and then it would
Yep.
hop across like a frog.
Yep.
He had those in the Walnut Orchard house.
Yep, I remember those things. They were freaking cool.
Yep, I don't know what they were called.
I
He
have
would.
no idea what they were called. No idea.
What about the Bosselwood airplanes with the rubber band? Did you guys play with those?
What was that, Baron?
The
Also, the
Ooh,
belt, the
the-
rubber band belt-driven airplanes.
No, I was asking him to say the type of wood again.
Balsa.
Bosselwood?
It's balsa.
I don't-
It's balsa.
Balsa.
Whatever what it is. I don't know.
But anyway, I remember playing with those a little bit, I know that Dad with me, Baron, Armin, Power, and Dane was pretty big into doing Pinewood Derbies with us. I don't think the younger boys so much.
Not that I remember.
I'm going to jump back in here because this was like one of my favorite toys. Uncle Chris got it for me for I think my 8th birthday, and it was a U-controlled airplane. Do you guys know what that is?
No, not at all.
No.
So it's an airplane with I think it ran on nitro. On one of the RC cars run on.
Yeah, it was a small nitro.
Yeah, so it runs on nitro. Has a glow plug, so you have to get the glow plug heated up, and then to start it, you'd flip the propeller and just keep flipping it. Man, I got my finger chewed up so many times
until it started, and then it would come up around and whack you on the other side. It was terrible.
Yep, cut your finger open. Like I still have scars on my knuckles from doing that. But on my in between my fingernail and my first knuckle joint, there's like scars in there where it took huge old chunks out. But then it's connected to two strings that connect to a handle. And so what you do is you've got this handle in your hand, and the prop goes the same speed all the time. So you've always got the same speed, but if you go up, pull up on the string, it would pull back on the string, it would go up. And if you pulled down on the string, it would go down. So you could just fly and then you just turn in a circle with it as it flew around you. And I just thought that was so cool.
I remember them. I used to play with them too.
I got one for my
and then
birthday once, but it never worked.
Oh, they're super fun. Lonnon, do you remember doing rockets in Twin?
Yeah, a ton. Did all the rockets all the
Once again,
time.
I think that was Uncle Chris we did that with.
Uncle Chris is
That
pretty
sounds
into
about right.
hobbies, though, right? Because I always remember having remote control cars and helicopters and
His helicopter, yep. That I think the highest he ever flew off the ground was like 7 feet.
Yeah, he always ended up wrecking it.
Yep, and then it was always like $500 to fix it every time. So it was. I think it was not running more than it was running.
Definitely.
I mean, you go from that helicopter to a drone, and a drone is just so stable and easy to fly, and that thing was just all over the place.
Yep.
But it was collective pitch. That's what was cool about it.
Well, it had to be.
Yep. But I just think that's cool that you got and they still make RC helicopters that are collective pitch, but like the ones that are $150 and below, it's all the faster the prop spins, the higher it goes. Where a collective pitch, it just spins the same speed all the time, and you're changing the pitch to go up and down.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
That
realize
is
that.
awesome. I had no idea.
Yeah, he had to do that. He had to run the rudder in the rear as well. So that was the problem with flying it, is that you had to be super good at it.
And no wind.
Yeah, and now there are Lon, what is the one you played on the computer? Can't think of it. Simulators.
Yeah.
There are simulators you can do with those, and so you can get your practice and stuff like that. But back then, there's no way you could have run something like that on a computer.
Nope.
So, Lonnon, is there anything else you can think of? We're going to pass it down to Griff if you don't.
No, that was pretty much
Four-wheelers,
it for me.
motorcycles.
Yeah, four-wheelers, motorcycles. We did a lot. We did a ton of four-wheeling. Yeah, a ton.
Yeah, especially in Reno.
What about bicycling? Did you guys ride bikes a lot?
Yep. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, all the time.
All over. I had a black BMX one that I loved. That thing had really long cranks on it. And then Barron left it behind somebody's car, or not Barron, Power left it behind somebody's car and bent the crank on it. And yep, then it was done.
Do you remember? I remember riding down the hill to Steve Blackmer's house in Reno, and with no hands, and it was all dirt. And Power, if you talk to Power, he's like, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were like the coolest person ever that you could do that." And then you remember doing our bike shows?
Yeah,
out in the driveway.
Out in the driveway and on the deck.
Yep, and we'd jump off the deck and pull wheelies. And
I think about that now, and it's just like, man, Dad and Mom must have had the patience of Job to sit there and watch us.
Yep. Yeah, Mom and Dad were totally different for us than I think they were for the smaller kids.
Oh, definitely.
I think life got in the way for the smaller kids, and we were the life for the older kids.
Yep.
Well, moving on. Hey, Griff, what do you have?
Connects. I played a lot with Connects. That was something I got for one of my Christmas presents that Mom, they bought like 3 bins full of Connects, and we did a lot with that, me and Barron.
I remember there was these orange boxes that were like 1 foot by 2 foot, or it was 18 inches by 32. It was these weird orange bins, and there was a couple of them. And I remember you building a Ferris wheel with it once.
Yep. And then I did a lot of the same stuff that Lonnon had, and Lonnon. I did the wiring thing that I also can't think of the name, and then Capsellas. I mean, we played with I played Capsellas. I mean, a ton.
I didn't realize you guys played with them.
Yeah, all the time. Capsellas. I played with what was left over because all of that stuff had. I mean, had disappeared, a lot of it, but I still was playing with it.
Like the yellow buoys were still there, the red wheels, the motors, the drive shafts. Mom
But I know that a lot of the
eventually ended up
plastic-
buying some more.
I know the plastic was starting to crack on them, the pieces that connected them together.
Right.
Guys, was the wiring thing you're talking about, is that the electronic playground? Look that up. That looks familiar to me.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Could be.
Elenco, Elenco.
And then,
But-
the only other thing else I remember is
Yep, Dane, that was it.
the still beam things. I can't think of the name right now.
The erector set?
Yeah, it's erector sets.
Did you guys ever do model planes
No,
with Dad?
no.
No.
That's something I remember doing with Dad is model planes, like the plastic ones where you had to glue them all together and then you'd paint them and stuff. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Know what you're
Yeah.
talking about? No, Dad never did that with us.
Huh.
Uh,
That was a lot of fun. That's something I remember.
and that was when I was younger. I mean, this will also account for Baron and me and Case. As we got older, it moved into remote control cars. I mean, we all had Nitro remote control cars, and so we played a lot with remote control cars when we moved to Vegas because there was
I
nothing
don't
else
think
to
I
do.
ever had a nitro or motor car. I remember I had electric ones, and that's about it.
Oh, I thought you had a Nitro one.
And that was
No,
Long
Case
had
has a
nitro
pretty
ones.
kid scale one.
Yeah, Lonnon had nitro cars.
Oh well, and that was because of me. Baron had nitro and Griff had a nitro as well. But that's why Dad started getting them, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
I just remember the smell. Oh, it's wonderful.
I agree. It's like
Ugh.
two-stroke fuel.
I
But better.
hate the smell of nitro. Handle it.
It's sweet.
Different. The problem is it's kind of like Eco. Like Eco makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, that stuff stinks.
That's how Nitro does the same thing to me, though.
Huh, maybe I need to mix nitro with some additive. See how that
Well,
works.
it has. Well, that's what we were mixing it with, but it has a lot to do with this.
That's what you cut it with, right?
Yeah, both of those were in that, and the reason why you probably like the nitro smell is because you weren't around it, but we had it in the trunks of our cars, and so it did the same thing that that Eco does, where it just gets stuck.
Cannot
inside
get
the
it
car.
out?
Yeah, and
yeah.
it
Permeates everything.
and it makes now still. It's part of the reason probably I don't like nitro as much. I mean, it's still fun. Is that it's just that smells like embedded in me.
The problem is that nitro, one, it's so much to clean up, but two, what I was going to say is what you're smelling a lot of that time is the nitro with the methanol, and that's what's creating that smell issue.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the castor oil.
It's only like 5% castor oil or something like that.
We were always buying super low grade nitro because it was the cheapest stuff we could buy.
It's not even super low grade. It's just what percentages you want. That's really what it came down to. But
I thought if you ran a higher one, they'd overheat.
no, well, they could if you didn't have a big enough head on them.
Yeah, I remember playing with nitro cars and Shoshone and Twin with you.
I didn't have any in Twin. Maybe
Yeah,
when
you did.
lived
Like
in
right
Twin.
before we moved.
I had an electric there. I never had. I didn't have my first nitro until I moved to Vegas.
Yeah, you're Schumacher.
Really?
Yep. My first, because my HPI MT was electric, and it was my first one I built all from scratch, and that was in Vegas.
I remember the cost of it. They were like $500. That just blew me away.
Yeah, but the nice thing again, I mean, not anymore. I can't get any pieces for any of them now. They're considered legacy, or they're old.
They
But
are
it's
old.
honestly, you can replace motors and stuff now for cheaper than you can buy parts. So
Yeah.
like there's so many things because Grampy's bought I think 3 cars from somebody, nitro cars. One was a street car, and then he bought 2 4x4s, and I think he paid the guy like $300 for all 3 of them.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it depends on
Well,
what condition they're on.
They've
too.
just kind of become useless. It's like I have my HPI RS4. I need a transmission for it. I can't buy a transmission for it. I just put a new engine in it, and I cooked my transmission the first time I drove it. But the issue with it is, it takes forever to get it started. It overheats after about a half an hour, and an electric car will last a half an hour. You swap a battery out, you drive it some more. Whereas my HPI, you're sitting there rebuilding the engine, I'm cleaning the engine out all the time, cleaning all the nitro and crap off of it.
Yeah, it's just so much more
disgusting.
maintenance. So much more maintenance.
Honestly, it was because when we first started playing, electric cars were not fast.
Oh no! Not only are they not fast, they took forever to charge, and you might get 15 minutes out of it if you were lucky.
Well, but now with lithium and brushless motors, I mean that's totally changed.
I mean, I ran one in mine for I probably ran it around for an hour and a half, and then I went inside because I was done playing by myself.
Yep.
And it was it still wasn't dead.
And that's what they've gotten to is now is it even worth to do the gas version because the electric ones are so much faster.
And you don't have to clean them up. Like there's just so many positives about it.
They're quiet.
Easy.
They have reverse. They don't have to replace the glow plugs all the time. You don't have to charge up another battery to be able to warm up the glow plug. I mean, there is so much crap that went along with glow plugs. I'm with nitro cars.
Okay, so what's Griff? Do you have anything else, or should we move on to Burr?
Mine would have been besides that bikes, and
Griff was big into bikes.
Yep, I had my Magnum, and then I probably stole from my neighbor, whoever it was. There was a bike in the very back corner that was a GT, and that was my favorite bike that I had was the GT.
Yeah, I get it.
Was it a Mongoose?
No. Mongoose. I never had I had a Mongoose when we moved to Vegas, but Mongooses were like the thing to have. And really, I found out is that like the GT was a far, far more expensive bike than a Mongoose ever would have been.
Well, Mongooses are sold at Walmart now.
Right.
Yeah, and when Griff was out riding around on bikes, I mean, he was all over Shoshone because I would go out with him occasionally, and we'd wake up at like dawn in the summertime, and we wouldn't come back until the sun went down. We were gone all day.
All day.
In Shoshone?
Oh, yeah, they were always gone.
How old were you in Shoshone, Baron? I thought you were only like 5 or 6.
8.
You weren't even going to school.
I was 8 and 9.
And I was...
Really?
I was 9 and 10. And I never was home. Because I remember
Mom, I don't think Mom ever knew where they were, ever.
I remember getting in trouble from Dad because someone let me borrow their scooter, like their gas-powered scooter, and I was flying all around town at the top of whatever the scooter would do at 10 years old. And now I think about that when I was 10. Now that I think of having a 10-year-old doing that, I'm like, oh gosh.
Well, and then you think about we were riding across Shoshone to get to school, like riding our bicycles there. And, I mean, we just went all over the place on our bicycles.
Yep.
And crossing the highway?
Crossing the railroad tracks where there was a train that came every 50 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, like, I don't let Ainsley cross Bermuda because I think it's too busy. And I won't let her ride to school. And it's like less than a mile. It's probably like half a mile from my house. But it's just a different time now.
Well,
and where I live, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Not just that. I mean, like, if you lived in a tiny town where you knew everybody, you might be different. But, where you probably don't even know most of your neighbors. I'm just saying, like, I know you know some of them, but, you live somewhere like where I do. I know probably more of my neighbors than down in Vegas. Than I ever did in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, then, Griff, you're done then?
Yep, Aaron.
All righty. So...
All right, Case, you ready to go?
I hate you. You suck.
Finally, someone else picks on him.
Yeah, Case, because you get picked on so much. My goodness, before you, it was totally me, since I'm still the runt, using air quotes right now, the runt of the family.
Oh, no, you are the runt. You are the runt.
Whether you quote it or not.
You're the redheaded stepchild.
The runt...
Red-bearded stepchild.
The runt does not refer to height. The runt refers to being the smallest in all forms of the family. You are the smallest of all of us.
He's not wrong.
Why I drive a big truck.
Baron, it's
to compensate.
To be in good shape.
Baron drives a big truck to compensate.
I'm sorry. What big truck?
Sorry. My Super Duty, and I've always owned some type of larger truck.
Short
bed.
Oh, big. Fine. My Dodge is lifted. Is that enough compensation for you?
No.
I love short beds. They look so much better.
Bleh.
I'm not going to lie. If I could own any truck, it'd be a crew cab long bed dually. But...
Yep. Ditto. You
Okay,
don't
okay,
use
toys.
Now that you don't use it, Dane. Now that you don't use your truck every day, you would think different. First time you hook to your dually with that monstrosity of a thing you pull, you hook it to a dually and you'll go, I'm never
Oh.
going back.
Yeah, they just tow so much better. They're so much more
Yeah, but they're
stable.
so wide.
They're
Yeah,
so much more
it's
stable.
awesome.
Are they really that much wider than your trailer?
They are 2 feet wider.
Oh, I don't know.
Not
In my
the
trailer,
trailer.
I don't know.
No,
But
not
then my
They're the
that.
same
truck,
width
they're
as the
2 feet
trailer.
wider.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, anyway, toys
Sorry,
for
Bear, go.
Burr.
Okay, toys. So starting out, it was playing with Griff's Connects, and then Mom got me Connects when we moved to Vegas because we still have a Griff's Connects, and I became like obsessed. It's actually the reason Mom went and got me diagnosed, tested for ADD and other stuff, was because how focused I would get playing with Connects. Like I'd come from school, and then I would play with Connects until I went to bed, like building things, making roller coasters, making cranes. Like I did all kinds of stuff. Connects was when I think of a toy like my Woody from Toy Story type, it was Connects.
That sounds like Motega.
Except
With what?
for with the devil.
Yeah,
Baron, are
yeah.
you using headphones?
Yeah, I am. Is it echoing?
Like super bad.
Big time.
He does it with the devil, which is Legos.
Is that any better?
The
Hang
devil
on,
is
no.
just Legos. No, it's not any better.
No,
Bear.
Baron.
The devil is the Legos because if you stand
any
on a
better?
Lego.
No, because the Legos are so boring.
It really depends on the Legos. I remember, me and Dane used to play with Legos for hours.
Boring.
The cool thing about Legos is you can do so much detail that you can't do with Connects or Constructs because you can't fill in the spaces. Like you can go every dimension in Legos, and it's
They
hard to
just
do that
don't
with
hold
Connects.
together worth half a crap.
Who
I mean,
needs
they
That's
fall
what-
apart.
That's what Craggle is for.
What's
Craggle?
Craggle?
Craggle. You've never seen a Lego movie, apparently.
Nope.
Yeah, please
It's
explain.
super glue.
Super glue.
Oh, that's
But-
ridiculous.
I can't remember why they got Craggle. Jeez Louise, Baron, we got to figure out your headphones.
Well, because Craggle was the brand name.
No, I think that they had like paint
No.
over it or something.
It was
Crazy
the grand.
glue.
It was crazy
Crazy.
glue. Yeah, so it was there was something over the U and E, and it
It was
was
scratched off. Come on, guys. You got kids. I got kids. Man, it's CRA, and then it is scratched off, and then it's glue without the U gets scratched off you, so it's Craggle. Come on.
Oh, Craggle.
The Craggle. But yeah, I love Legos.
Carry on,
So,
carry on.
Baron, continue.
Hold on, White. So you guys don't like them because they
They're-
don't stay
they-
together? Is that the
They
whole thing?
don't stay together. There's not enough function in them.
You guys must have gotten our hand-me-down Legos because I don't ever remember having a problem with them sticking together.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
me
still
either.
to this day have problems with them sticking together. Even when I try to do it with Jericho, they're just like there's no engineering to them is the problem. Is that like we could build bridges, we could do stuff like that, and we always did with like Connects, and we would build. I mean, we had roller coasters we could build with it. Where Legos, yeah, I mean, if you're trying to build something that's going to stay like that forever, let's do it. But Connects were just more fun to me. Connects, you could do a lot more stuff too, because you could go different directions and other stuff like that.
yeah.
Hey guys, is this any or is it still really bad echo?
You gotta hold your button while we're talking. Are you
Hey
holding
guys,
your
is
button?
this really
Oh,
bad
Baron.
or is it
Oh,
really bad
that's
echo?
so much better.
So
I
much
have no idea what my computer was doing. I just unplugged my thing and plugged it back in.
Well, it worked.
Okay, do we want me to
Wonder if it
start
wasn't
over
plugged in
so
all
we
the
can
way.
actually hear me?
No,
you
we can hear you fine. It's fine. I can try and edit some of it out and whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, go Bear. We were discussing why Legos are so much worse than Connects.
Better.
So, I mean, it was the
Worse.
Connects they held together better. You could actually build like frames and superstructures and things that you just couldn't do with Legos. I mean,
See?
yeah, you could get the panels and stuff for Legos and you could make like houses and crap because, I mean, they're blocks. But with a Lego, you could make the things that I actually cared about, which was like cars and trucks. But I think my favorite one was building a crane. I built a gantry crane that I could adjust where the winch actually came up and down. I could adjust. I could make it spin and pivot. I added a counterbalance of a water pump that I actually would put into the back of the crane to be able to pick up major like heavy loads and stuff. I made it fall like the Twin Towers once because I overloaded it and it collapsed all the way down on top of itself until it hit the ground. That was pretty cool. That was by accident. It was kind of a bad day. But I built this structure that was 6'8" tall with this rotating thing on the top of it and then like different things that went all the way down. I was always a lot better and following instructions than Griff was. Griff just kind of went off by the seat of his pants, whereas I would actually get the thing, build it the way it was supposed to be built, and that was the only time I'd ever build it that way. And then
Griff
from
would
that-
never do something like that.
Always did. I can follow instructions for about half of it, and then I'm like, okay, what's the picture look like? Okay, let's do it that way.
Yeah, whereas I could go page by page, and I think that drove Griff crazy. But by the time I really got into Connects, Griff was older and really wasn't into Connects. So
Bear and I totally do the same thing. Like when Ainsley gets new Legos, we always put it together with the instructions first.
And then from that point on, who cares? You already did it by the way the instructions said to do it, and so you move on.
And then go do whatever you want.
But yeah, I made this car hauler once that I put model cars in, and I made it have workable suspension and steering, and I made it so it had multiple trailers because you guys all know that I loved anything with trailers. So,
Yes.
I mean, Connects was like the thing for me. But I also remember the Erector set. I remember when I was in second grade, Mom bought me this little red drill that you could use for the Erector set that she bought for Griff, because I guess at that point I was getting into the Erector set. But it was just so expensive, Mom just got more and more Connects. So, and then of course we had the Rockin' Box. But the Rockin' Box was Lego based, and it was fun for being RC cars, but I think it was the Connects.
It was always broken. That was the problem with the Rockin' Box, is that it had base problems. Remember, Bear? Like, it would work good for about a week, and then after about a week of using it, Mom would have to go bring it in and trade in the stuff again. Like, it always seemed to be broken.
Yeah. Well, and you could play with it. You could change the overall structure of it, but the design had to stay the same.
Right.
I just figured out why they probably canceled Constructs. The little blue things in the center that hold everything together, Dane. They were a choking hazard.
I don't know. Oh,
Yeah, that
because
makes sense.
Constructs were designed for little kids, right?
Yeah, well,
I
little-ish.
remember chewing on those things.
Yep, me too.
And I think Mom sprayed them with hairspray, so we'd stop chewing on them. And Legos.
Yep.
So that
No
was
comment
my
on
thing
the
for me. But Case, talk about Legos, because you were the one that was super into Legos, and I just never understood why you liked Legos.
I've always loved Legos, and I don't. I just enjoyed the creative aspect of Legos because you literally could just build cars and any structure. I remember going to my friend's house and literally we just hours playing Legos, building spaceships, building like garages and other things like that. Man, it was all imagination based toys, and I think that's the same reason Motega likes to play at Lonnon, is that just he can get into his head and build his own world.
Well, it's
Yep.
I mean, it's Minecraft. It's Minecraft is
100%.
Legos put on a video game.
But you can feel. I mean, it's touchable. It's tangible. So
I
Oh, yeah.
now know why I hate Minecraft too. You just
Yeah,
made more sense of what makes Minecraft so retarded.
Minecraft is super
not
fun.
See, and
slow.
I like going and building things, and I just think it's cool. I think I'm not a huge fan of the creative mode because I don't think it means anything if
I
you just
agree.
have access to everything.
Except for that,
Um,
I did creative mode when it first, but I was playing it when it was alpha. But I did creative mode then so I could learn how to do redstone stuff. But I agree.
Well,
with
and
Dane.
like Simp and I, we made a scale my house to scale. Like
Right.
you look at it and it's my house. There's no question. And then we made a big samurai temple. And I mean, so there are some cool things you can make in creative, but I like the aspect of having to find things and, like all the forts we've built and all the mines we've built. And, it's like when we get, your kids and Ainsley together and me and you, and we're playing in my world. And it's like, Zymo, take it. Don't mess up my world.
Yeah.
It's something we're proud of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Case. So you like Legos for that reason. What else? What other toys did you like?
I've literally been listening to all you guys talk about it. I remember playing Rock and Box, but I've been trying to think what I did. I played with a lot, but honestly, all I can remember doing is drawing a lot when I was younger. I remember having my own, just drawing cars was my main thing.
Well, in case I'm not gonna lie, you were pretty popular as a little kid. I mean, you were always out with your friends.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I
I
I was
always
remember
a
had.
loner.
Playing Resident Evil with Case. That's what I remember with Case. And I'd go pick him up on my CBR when he was in elementary school.
Yep, I remember that, and I felt like the coolest kid whenever Dane came and picked me up. So it was just, I just remember I was always out doing stuff. I don't ever remember, like Legos was the main thing. I remember playing N64 a lot. So video games was a huge thing in my life. And shoot, that's just about, I even to this day, I still really enjoy playing Legos. Like doing during general conference, it's like the one thing I like to do is grab a bunch of Legos and just create while I'm listening. And I still love to do that even to this day.
I'm not gonna lie. Went over to Griffith's house, and Jericho had just gotten new. I cannot remember the name of these things.
No, it was
But-
Rockin' Box.
No, the Rockin' Box. Actually, every toy you bought in Jericho lately, I have played with. But it was the steel erector set. We were building an old truck.
You
That
made
was
the
so
one
much fun.
that we built and he didn't. And he was like, "Oh, cool, thanks."
Yeah,
Legos.
and we
'Cause
thought
it
it was
wasn't a
just
video
so
game.
awesome.
No, Jericho really likes doing Legos as well. I don't get it. I can go off my big toy. I have a big toy now that I play with, and it's my tractor.
Your tractor. Yeah.
Yep, Griffey's got a tractor, and all he does is play with that thing.
She thinks a tractor sexy.
I'll tell you right now, it's thoroughly enjoyable. If you came to my house right now, Dane, you would go, "What happened?"
What
Yeah.
do you do?
You
His
can entire
yard is really
backyard.
well dug up.
What was the purpose?
He broke a water line.
Well, I was running a new water line to my greenhouse, and I broke the water line at the same time because it was PVC. I thought it was all metal, and so I never intended on moving that stupid water where the water was. And I hit it with my backhoe, and when I hit it, I broke it. And I'm like, "Well, F it, I want to move it anyways because this is a retarded spot." And so,
Like your water main?
no,
The one in the
like-
back. You remember the one that was in the back, just in a stupid spot, kind of back toward. It was like 15 feet off of the cement pad, but like it was just in a dumb spot. And so, he hit it.
So I hit it, and I'm like, "Well, I'll run water over to the greenhouse." And I call Lonnon up. I'm like, "Lonnon, should I just run water to my shop?" And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well freaking just dig over and run power to my shop as well." And so I have a 4-foot deep hole that goes from the front of my house all the way back to my shop, and then another 40-foot line that runs all the way over to my greenhouse. And I did it all with my backhoe and my tractor, and I only got my tractor stuck once where I almost had to call for help on it.
And
Nice.
he went to Home Depot 4 times that day.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just numbers.
But it's kind of funny. So to segue back into toys, it's funny to look at the big toys we now have and to kind of relate those to the things we played with when we were younger. Very tactile
Four-wheelers.
things. 4-wheelers.
Still
Well,
have
you
the
guys
same.
had 4-wheelers when you were younger. I mean, we didn't get those until I was 16.
Yeah.
But like
So
when I think about the things that we work on, or like me, my new toy is that stupid Dodge pickup, just because it's fun to tinker with. And I'm sure you guys kind of have the same things.
the saying, the only difference between men and boys is the price of their toys. I mean,
Yes.
that's so true because, you're like 5 years old and you're happy with a, little $5 motorcycle that you got at the store. And then you turn 15 and you're not happy until you get the $5,000 motorcycle. And then, you're 25 and you're not happy till you get the $25,000 motorcycle. I mean, obviously not necessarily things like that, but all of our toys now are way more expensive. And
I
only
know. I
difference
feel that,
between men
Dane.
and boys is the price of their toys.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I feel it.
But I find it funny that Baron, you're dead on when you say we all have the same, like, whatever we enjoyed playing with, but we all tinker on. We're all mechanically inclined now because of the toys we play with. I feel like.
And
Well,
because Dad
it's
made
like-
us work on cars.
Well, it's like Case. You're the perfect example. You have a motorcycle that's totally torn apart right now, and you're pushing back together. You have all the pictures of it. It's a project that you enjoy, and you'll be able to enjoy the finished project. For me, it was buying a used Honda Talent that had a blown-up engine and rebuilding it, and now I'm onto this Dodge pickup. For Griff, it's working on the 14 cars he has in his garden. I don't know what his next project is right now. I think right now it's golf.
Fix
Plus,
your
got
shop.
too many
What?
bricks to
Tractor.
fire, nothing gets done.
What day?
It's his tractor. That's his project.
That's
If
not
he
my
could be on his
tractor-
tractor.
That's his toy. That's
Yeah,
not his
that's
project.
his toy. If he could create a project with his tractor, he's going to.
That is not true. It's just good weather to go and do it.
No, Griffey, you picked a good weekend to do it. So
And I'm like, if I'm doing this, I might as well just do it all.
It's one of
Well,
those,
I
since
did it
I'm
all.
here type deals.
Yep.
So, does anybody have any like toys that they played with when they were younger that they would like to bring up that they kind of forgot about, or are we
Nope.
pretty much done?
I think that's pretty much it. But my new toy that most of you guys know, I have my RC car, my little 1/18th scale rock crawling RC car is so much fun.
I didn't know
It's
you
just,
had one.
it's a blast.
Nope, I
He
didn't know
tried
either.
so
Yeah.
hard to get me to buy one. He wants me to buy one so bad.
Oh yeah, so I can battle you.
I have Jericho's that I keep looking at going, oh, I should buy all this stuff for it. Because like they have 2-speed transfer cases and stuff like that, which I think is
Brushless
awesome.
motors, full different like oil-filled shocks. Because
Yep.
at the same time, I was going to
Weights
buy one
and all
because I
that.
play with Jericho.
Yes. They're not fast, but they'll climb.
No,
which
that's
is
not
cool.
that's not the point. They're meant to climb things. I think it's way fun. So
Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah, thanks,
Um,
guys. We really, I think we had a lot of fun with this one. At least I did. I really liked the toys that we played with, and it kind of made us people that we are today. So shout out to those toys that we got to play with when we were younger.
heck
Case,
yeah. So
do your
yeah,
thing.
my plug. Let's go ahead
Plug
and
it.
say, guys, if you have loved Legos, Connects, Rock and Box, toys like that, let us know on our Instagram and Facebook. You can find us at King Ugly Crew. Or if you have a comment, concern, or topic idea, email us at kinguglycrew@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to get to know our ugly mugs, you can actually jump onto our website, and that is kinguglycrew.wordpress.com.
.com. Yeah,
memorized it that time.
kinguglycrew.wordpress.com. Yeah, you got it.
.com.
So, alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and
Stay
ugly.
ugly.
Ugly things.